liberation? I think I'm interested in that. I think Biafrans also would like to know that.
Well, first of all, I'm just mind blown to be able to speak to Biafrans directly, and I can't wait to meet you directly. You know, face to face, to touch, to hug, to shake your hand for being brave. But you know, I have to say that my motivation simply comes from the fact that the world doesn't talk about it, but almost every day, people are murdered in Biafra. You know, whether in the hands of Boko Haram or radical Fulanis and more. How can I be silent? Tell me, how can I be silent when I know that every day human beings are being murdered in Biafra? This is unthinkable. You know, and it's for me, it's simple because I treat the Igbos like my brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers. So I cannot be silent when my family is hurt. You know, in the same way, I cannot be silent when Biafra is bleeding. That's very simple for me. You know, so I have to say that, yes, we are family. And yes, when Biafra is suffering, I will speak up. I see that no one is doing that. I see that, you know, when lives are lost in Africa, no one is talking about it. How come? This is shameful. And I'm doing whatever I can to change that and to be the voice of the persecuted in Biafra.
Whew. Thank you very much. Well, you have Biafrans have heard you. All this while, it's been more or less a kind of ups and down, because there is one thing about Biafran. Biafran is more or less a spirit. It is not about economic profits that Nnamdi Kanu is asking for Biafra. It's about our ideology. The Igbo ideology is quite imbued in the Jewish Torah. There are, as the history discusses it, there are two brothers that has not been seeing each other as a result of circumstances. Nevertheless, they have been united despite the distance. And you have shown this, you know, affiliation. You have shown this commonality between the Igbo and the Jewish by making it, you know, your time to appear here, because this is essentially, you are more or less like a big fish in a small cave when you appear here. So we appreciate that. I want to ask you, those familiar with your post, essentially, especially, you know, especially the issue of Biafra, knows that you are, you know, a staunch supporter of, you know, of Biafra and for the quest of the Biafran liberation. Yet, apart from the effort of people like you, the plight of Biafra, the abduction and the incessant extrajudicial killing of Biafran men and women by the Nigerian government is not reported in the Western media. In this regard, the international community seems to have a kind of conspiracy of silence on Biafra. What do you think the Biafran need to do to make their case internationally recognized? And that's the first question. I want to ask two questions at once. The second question I would like to ask is, what does the Israel government say about this? Are they aware of that? If they're aware of that, are they saying anything to your own understanding?
That's a great question. And I have to say back to our conversation about Mr. Kanu, I would love to meet Mr. Kanu when he's freed, you know, because I think that he's a brave leader that is speaking facts, knowing that he's risking his life. So I think that this is a really noble act to do. And I have to say, many people don't know about the Biafra war, you know, that over 1 million people were killed, mostly starved to death. And, you know, when most countries refused to help Biafra in 1967, in the critical days of Biafra, when you needed help the most, Israel was there to help. And, you know, I want you guys to remember that when you were in these critical times, when you needed help the most, we had 1967, it's the year Israel had the 6-day war. We were in tough, challenging times, and yet we stood by the Biafra nation, and we provided humanitarian assistance. You know, Israel's Knesset discussed the cause of Biafra 3 times back then and sent humanitarian aid. You know, I have to say this important message. You know, they can kill your men, but they cannot kill the Biafran spirit, because it lies not in men, but in the soul of each and every one of you. You know, and the will to be free and to not be oppressed is inside of each and every Biafran. And you know, people don't talk about the Nimbu massacre that occurred in 2016 with the Fulani men massacring villagers. You know, let's face the truth. Buhari is a criminal. He's a criminal. You know, and he will be the first one to condemn any act of, you know, any defensive act of Igbos, but he will never condemn act of his own tribe, but the Fulani people, because he would rather sell all of Nigeria just to get some glory from his own tribe. So, you know, you ask me about the global cause and what do Biafrans can do and what Israel is doing. I want to say that I believe that Israel still continues with this path of supporting its friends, its allies, its family. And just like we did that in 1967, Israel supports and does what it can. I did hear that Mr. Kanu was in Israel, in Jerusalem, before he was abducted and disappeared from the public's eye. And this is the most important thing that I want Biafrans to take from this discussion, that Israel, we stand with you guys. And although the cause of Biafra is not very familiar with the world and with Israelis, I want to say that, you know, because of my activity, because of what I do, more and more Israelis are hearing about the cause of Biafra each and every day. So yes, we do stand with you. I want you to know that.
Thank you very much. Now thank you very much, Amin. You've just said it. I think this is what most Biafrans want to hear. You mentioned the war of 1967 to 1970s. I mean, while growing up, we were told the story about this war and how Israel helped. You know, every child after the war knows this story, and you kind of realize the relationship between Israel and Biafra. You know, most of the times in life, we talk about myth and talk about the relationship between myth and whether it is true or not true. But the interesting aspect of the whole thing is that whatsoever is myth has its aura, you know, because the aura lies in the fact that you can neither defy it nor accept it as a holistic truth. And the issue about the Israelite and the Biafra, no matter how you portray it, you always get to the point where you cannot deny it again, because you find out that the relationship and the affiliation, the communality, is not something that anyone can just deny, no matter how you try, because it's there. So thank you very much for affirming to that. I think Biafrans need to understand that the Israeli are just behind them. Because I want to tell you this, you know, the Igbo generally love the Jewish nation because they seems to believe, they see themselves as Jewish, all right? I would tell you that 99% of any Igbo man will tell you that his origin is Jewish, okay? Wow. And that is why they are also made scapegoat by the Muslim North when there is a kind of conflict between Israel and some of its neighbor, its Arab countries. Now you've made this statement. I want to play some videos to you to show you exactly what is happening in the country called Nigeria, where the Biafran, are captivated, are kept, and they are trying all means to free themselves. But it seems the whole thing is always, it seems as a they can't just escape it, but they keep trying. Let me show you some videos that has to do with the Buhari that you just mentioned. And the problem in Biafra land and in Nigeria as a whole is about the effort of the Fulani Caliphate, of the Fulani tribe, to dominate the entire, the rest of the nation. That is what you can call, ethno-religious conflict. The Fulani see themselves as the owner of the geographical area called Nigeria. They believe that it was given to their father, Usman Danfodio, that was essentially a migrant from Futa-Jalon or Futa-Toro, and then settled in the northern part of Nigeria in the 18th centuries, and then conquered the rest of the Harbe Kingdom, and from there, settled his brothers, gave them the kingdom, and essentially the northern part of Nigeria becomes a Fulani property. Now they want to extend this domination across the whole, the entire nation, and that's why the problem lies on, and that's why Nnamdi Kanu is in prison, because he is the only one who can stop that when he stands against Buhari through his criticism on Radio Biafra and through the establishment of ESN that checkmated the Fulani bandit that were raping our women and men and killing children. That's what the wrong of Nnamdi Kanu. That's why he's in prison today. So let's look at some comments from some prominent personnel from Nigeria.
Let's do that.
All right. So I will be showing you this just, just a minute. Oh. Sorry. Okay, this is, however, a very small video, but what you are seeing there, I don't know. Next. Okay, so this is just a small clip of some women from the southern part of Nigeria. She said she's reporting from Ekiti that they are being persecuted by the Fulani. That's essentially what is going on. So I'm going to show you just small clips, about 4 of them, so that you have a kind of a view of what is going on there.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Now,
I don't think that the clips were playing, though.
Learned from the outcome of the United States presidential election. What are the potential takeaways? Where is the place of love for country in all of this? This is an issue we'll be taking up with our next guest.
Citizens in their own country.
So, we will listen to what the point this guy is trying to make.
The little chick has no way of.
I want you to pay attention to the point this young man is going to make about Nigeria. It's about if Nigeria can actually be remedied or not. He was asked in a kind of an interview to make his opinion concerning the death of Jelly Lawrence of Ghana and what he thinks about Nigeria in 2023. Then he made this statement.
Pleasure to be here. Masha, what I really planned. The last darkness, and some people have helped to keep the where people do not readily have cameras to video them to show what they have done. I cannot find peace in keeping quiet. But now that I've mentioned the issue of peace, let me speak to that. To a very large extent, there has been an ongoing attempt at demonization of the NC to allow us with lag boss Now, if we begin to speak in terms of violence, let us be clear. There was no violence in
Sorry.
Still acted true to type. It still acted. Okay. I've met some of the survivors. They are much, much more braver people than those who turn their guns on them. And those who are lying, denying what is up. And I know as a fact that they're already making noises about restructuring in Abuja, the Miss Snatcher and the Lawan and that one that calls himself Baja. All of them are sad to the Nigerian peoples, be those Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, whatever they care to be. Make an Igbo man president of Nigeria in 2023 and force him to operate the 1999 constitution. Complete waste of time. Igbo will continue to suffer the brunt of the wickedness of the Nigerian state. Every Nigerian is rendered stateless by the 1999 constitution. It is an iniquitous, wicked, and evil document. It has nothing good for the Nigerian people. And this longer we continue to fool ourselves believing, and let me enter one quick caveat.
Okay.
Ourselves believing, and let me enter one.
All right. This is the part I want you to I want you to understand, because we are currently in the issue of 2023 election, and a lot of guys seems to be assuming that with the election, the problem of Nigeria will be over. But I played this video for you because I don't know how election is seen currently in the Nigerian election. The 2023 is viewed by the Israelis. So I wanted you to hear what this guy is trying to say, because this guy is a lawyer and is very outspoken in the media, and he is trying to make clear that the structure of Nigeria is the problem. The structure of Nigeria is structured in such a way that only the Fulani can rule Nigeria. That is the problem. Nigeria is said to be a federation. They are practicing federalism, but in the real sense, it's a unitary government, because the structure, essentially the 1999 constitution, is made in such a way that the Fulani will continue to rule this country, and there will be no freedom for the Igbos. And that's what this guy is trying to explain. Now, I want to know, is there anything about the democratic or the election going on in Nigeria currently in Israel? Is it a topic at all?
Well, I have to say regarding the situation in Biafra and in Nigeria, and I have to pay the attention of the viewers to this photo. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is the children of the Igbos that starved to death, that were victims of this war. But I have to say that people think that this war is over. Most people think that, Biafrans are no longer suffering because there was the war back then, no longer happening. But I have to say that the suffering of Biafrans still exists. You guys are suffering from discrimination, from occurring raids on your cities, villages, towns, where men, just like you said, men, women, and children are brutally murdered, raped, or almost every day. And people don't talk about this issue. So I have to say that Biafrans need to tell the story of Biafra. I've seen many horrible videos. I've seen a lot of blood in photos and videos. Tell the story of Biafra. Tell what's happening there. Because the world needs to hear this story. And as an Israeli Jew, I consider you my brothers and sisters, and I will always continue to stand and to tell the truth and to speak of your suffering. And on the top of that, I also want to say that I wish that I could visit you guys. I wish that I could meet you in your Biafra land, Igbo land. But, I also don't want to get arrested myself by the DSS. So I am doing my best to be careful, but I I will never make any concession when speaking the truth. I will speak the truth about Biafra. I will talk about the suffering, and I will make sure that the world knows what is happening there.
Thank you. The problem of the Biafra is more compounded. The biggest loss a nation can have is not essentially that you killed few of them, but it's when you destroy their culture and tradition. And
True.
That's what the Biafrans are going through currently. The persecution of the Jewish by the Nazi government, it comprised not only the killing of individual, but also the effort to destroy their culture. A lot of Jewish book was burnt. When I just came to Germany, the story was told about burning of the Jewish books, because no matter what happened today, I will tell you that German put a lot of effort in trying to educate or make people understand what happened then. Of course, you still have a lot of people that still do the otherwise, but I think if you go to the educational level, it is one of the things you have to see, that the issue about educating people about the Holocaust goes on. Now, the Biafra case is not like that. After the program in which 30,000 Biafrans died within some months, and the killing of the Biafran people, that reflect those that picture you showed. I could have come here with a lot of pictures, but those pictures are graphic, and I'm not allowed to do that on this platform. So what I'm saying is we have a big problem, and we need to solve them. We need international. The problem of the Biafrans must be, must have international resonance. And as far as, when we start getting people like you talking about it, I think we're gonna get there, because we have series of killing in Biafra land that nobody's talking about. I can just give you a brief, chronology of what happened. For example, Biafrans were killed by the Nigerian security apparatus. That was in MNA, that is called MNA massacre. That was in 23rd August 2020. In this case, over 21 people were killed and 47 arrested. Also, there is the so-called Mpo massacre. Mpo is spelled like NKPOR, massacre, on 30th May 2016. Over 150 people or Biafrans were killed. There is also a record of high school Aba massacre. This was on 9th February 2016. Many Biafrans were killed. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's house was invaded. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's house was invaded 14th September 2017. 28 people were killed, and a pet dog as well. So there is also the Obibo massacre. This took place 23rd October 2020. Many were massacred, with many more still in captivity in Nigerian security facility across the country.
And the world is not talking about it.
The world is not talking. There is also the Head Bridge massacre. This was 3rd December 2015. Nothing less than 9 persons were reported killed. Now, these are just the recorded ones that I'm telling you, because across the country, women are held in captivity, raped by the Nigerian military, by the Nigerian security apparatus. Just recently, a pluralist of Orthodox Church was kidnapped by the Fulani bandits that have been, baptized as by the Fulani terrorists that have been baptized as bandits. So this man, the pluralist, has to pay, I think that's 100 million in order to be freed. And this is happening in a country whereby the president is accusing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of being a terrorist, whereby his kinsmen go around, kill people, men in infinity, and nothing happens to them. This is utter injustice. Now that I've given you these numbers, do you think that would you say that the peaceful measure which Biafrans are moving would bring solution to their case, or would you say that they should rather seek for other countries to help them to understand their situation, to come to their aid? And I would ask, what do you think should be the solution to this? Because as we have just said, no country in the world is discussing this ongoing genocide, and nothing is happening.
I think that Biafrans should tell the story of Biafra and demand international bodies to take action and protest, make your voice heard, those in the diaspora. But also remember that while you ask for other countries to assist you and to stand with you with assistance, humanitarian assistance and votes, I also want you guys to remember that if Biafrans don't stand for themselves, no one will stand for them. That's the unfortunate truth. If you will not stand up for yourself, no one will do that for you. Same thing for us, the Jews. If we don't stand up, us here in Israel, if we don't stand up for ourselves, if we don't fight back with the truth, no one will do it for us. So I think that we are sharing this mutual issue, that we want people to hear the facts, and we want them to be, knowledgeable of what's happening, because this is just unthinkable that almost every day people are murdered and no one is talking about it. So I think that, to conclude this topic, I want to say that more and more people are waking up, and it is because we are together. We are united together. I see that. I see that on social media when I discuss with you guys, that you guys feel more encouraged to see that more people talk about the suffering, and that you feel like you have a friend and a voice. And this is what matters the most. I think that the case of Biafra should be heard internationally, but at the same time, Biafrans should stand up for themselves.
Thank you very much. That is the final word. Biafrans should stand up for themselves. I don't know what else to, I don't know how best someone could have just summarized this topic today. Biafran should stand up for themselves. There is an election going on, and the discussion is about hold your PVC. I don't want to say anything about that, but I would say that, let me say it, that, it's irrelevant trying to, whip a dead horse. A dead horse is a dead horse. Nigeria cannot be remedied. And I don't know anyone who is going to do anything like that. So that's what I'm going to say. Thank you very much, Hananya Neftli, for coming to this platform and, becoming a voice for Biafra, making it